Now let's bring in our next guest, author of the Treehouse Treasury, Laura Sidsworth. Hello,
Hi.
hello.
Hi.
How are
Thank
you?
For having me. I'm good.
Now, the Treehouse Treasury, what is that?
It is a book based on paintings that my artist friend Joni Antilla had done, and it's poetry and prose, written for children anywhere from age 3 all the way up, actually.
Poetry for children, kind of cool, right?
It's a little different. It's coming back, but it's been kind of phased out. Kindergarten teachers are liking poetry because some of the rhyming aspect actually helps with reading comprehension and being.
When you say it's coming back, was there a time when children's poetry was big?
Dr. Seuss days.
Yeah.
It was huge. And yes, Shel Silverstein.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all those kind of books were classics, and I think Dr. Seuss made it a little too rhymey, and a lot of people got away from that.
I don't think anyone does it better.
Yes, he's awesome.
Not only is he rhymey, but he teaches some really good lessons.
Yes, and
doesn't
it's
he?
fun.
Is this your first children's book?
It's the second, actually.
What got you into writing children's books?
My own children.
Uh-huh.
I think that's where it started. I've always kind of been a writer, a little hobbyist writer. When you get involved with children and family life, you kind of set those little things aside.
Mm-hmm.
But I was motivated by my kids, and my first book was Spoiled Pink. And that is...
Some girls?
Girls.
Yeah.
Girly stuff.
Spoiled pink. That's a good way to put
Spoiled
it.
Pink. And just the other day on Facebook, I saw these great pictures of pink Christmas trees. So I sent it to my 20-something-odd-year-old daughter.
Uh-huh.
And I said, look, wouldn't you love these? And she's like, how'd you already know, Mom? And she showed me back a picture of her pink tree she already had in her office set up. And so that's who I wrote it for, my first daughter, Cassie.
And so
Like
when you wrote it, what was your goal?
My actual goal, I kind of was getting tired of the color pink, actually. And I was getting
Like
tired.
pink's overused?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was pink this, pink that, and if you're a girl, it's pink, and if you're a boy, it's just blue. And there's a lot of stereotypes, gender-wise and even learning-wise, that goes with that hand in hand. So I kind of want to do something opposite and tell a little story how this little girl had to have everything pink, and now was getting overboard, and the parents couldn't come up with anything new anymore, and she was just getting really upset.
She was getting too pink?
Yes. Well, she wasn't fascinated anymore by any other color, and there's, of course, everybody knows all the colors of the rainbow. Everything is beautiful and nice to explore, but she was fixated on this color pink.
What was the lesson learned?
The lesson there is for the children of parents not to be exposed to just one color particularly, or to give in to the children's whims and keep trying to overindulge them. So it's really a story of acceptance and kind of a little lesson for parents not to spoil their kids.
Because the kids can train the parents as well as the parents can train the children, right?
And faster than the other way around.
And that the variety is the spice of life.
Correct. Exactly.
You got to try new things.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
That's
Well,
what
I like that one already. Now the Treehouse Treasury. Let's talk about that one.
The Treehouse Treasury is really cute because I'm kind of old-fashioned, and it's really hard to find things anymore for children that are not just video games, not just motion, so we wanted to get back to some old-fashioned basics, and we wanted to get kids back into nature. We wanted to get parents bonding with children and hopefully create a family time where they can get together and through the poems and the paintings relive memories they've already done and hopefully plan trips to redo new ones, whether it's camping or hiking or even baking Christmas cookies together. That's kind of what we were trying to capture, some old-fashioned
Because
stuff.
today the books don't have that, or maybe there's no books, maybe it's all video games and that kind of stuff, right? Stuff that I see my friends sitting down with their kids and playing video games. I don't play really well. I'm a hell of a wee bowler, but other than that, I'm not the video game guy. But this is really quality time spent.
Yes.
With your children.
It is. Yes.
Tell me about the story of the Treehouse Treasury, without giving it all away.
Well, they're all kind of different, so it doesn't really follow any storyline per se, but her paintings were so unique
Gotcha. Okay.
They were so unique, and they kind of captured almost every scene and a lot of outdoor activities.
You have some of these pictures to show, Billy? Okay, if you pop that one up right there, maybe Laura could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my friend Joni, who's the artist, she obviously lives like just north of Yosemite, near Sonora. And she's surrounded by nature, and her childhood memories are actually based on these paintings, or vice versa.
Is there a tree like this up by Sonora? I want to go.
There's lots of them. It's like that. And so she captured all the little animals.
Did I ever tell you about the tree in the Santa Cruz Mountains?
Yeah, you did.
We'll talk about that another time.
Okay. So she captured all the little animals, of course, that live in the tree, and that's, I think, the first shelter the animals seek. Is, I mean, a bird or an owl or whoever, that's their home.
The safe haven.
That's their safe haven. So
Right.
that's how we chose the title and based the other poems around that.
I got to say that for a children's book, this is a very nice book.
It's very well done. I was very fortunate to find an awesome team here. I was actually kind of Googling and looking for an editor, and I found Cindy Wathen, who runs her company, and along with Radiator Media, she put me together with a graphic artist, Randy Zamorsky of Zamo Creative, and he's awesome. So I mean,
You don't have to sell me.
it's
You
just
say
perfect. He's
Cindy
perfect.
Wathen, and I'm in.
Well, the team just was beautiful from every step of the way, because you want a quality product, obviously. You want something like for myself, even if I had nobody ever buy it or read it, for my grandkids just to have it. For my children,
and
it's
to
like,
me,
wow.
I look at it and I go, wow, if I'm looking for a present, like a book for a child, and I'm walking through Barnes & Noble or something, and I see this thing jumps off the shelf. It really
would-
pops.
And it would if we weren't self-published right now.
Yeah.
And that's
Whoa. What do you mean?
It's trying to jump off.
Yeah. What do you mean? This
Well,
isn't available?
No, it's available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or half a dozen other online retailers, but I'm the new breed of writer who is circumventing standard publishing, especially children's writing, children's publishing. It's unless you're a Kardashian, you're not going to get a contract with a publisher, generally speaking.
So what is it that you have to do differently?
I have to do everything from marketing to promotion to getting it online to making it available to all that good stuff.
Because at this point, you're behind the eight ball, right? You haven't made any money off this.
Oh,
All
no.
this money that's gone into this, you probably put in yourself.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
How far in are you?
I want to say to date we've spent probably $8,250 to $10,000 all said and done with editorial services and everything.
And how many books do you have in hand with $10,000?
Hey, this is like my third.
Right. Okay. So it's
that I have left.
It's an expensive hobby you've
Yes.
picked up here.
Yes.
And but it's not a hobby. It's very serious, and I think I'd like to see this out on the shelves for sale.
Well, that's what we're trying to do with our Kickstarter campaign. A lot of entrepreneurs, whether they're publishers, artists, musicians, people trying to fund operas. The guy who made Coolest, did you see the Coolest? It's a cooler. $189 to buy this cooler, and his campaign was last spring. He netted the highest money ever collected on Kickstarter, $11 million.
And what did he make?
A cooler.
For beer?
A cooler, yeah, but not any beer. You've got your lady friend on a picnic too, right?
Uh-huh.
So his cooler is called the Coolest. It has all these vintage colors like orange and whatnot. It's got a built-in blender on top. It's got speakers for all your stuff, chargers, a light in it. It's splendid.
And the guy got $11 million for making a frat toy?
Dollars, yes.
Wow.
So what people do, artists and whatnot, when they get to a certain point and they have their prototype built, in his case the cooler or whatnot, then you need funds to continue out the project. In our thing, actually, it's getting printing money. So we can actually publish books and have them in hand to sell on our websites and whatnot. So that's what our Kickstarter campaign
What
is
kind
about.
of bucks are we talking here? What kind of money does it take to put together a book?
Right now, for instance, on Kickstarter, we're asking $7,850, and at this point, we've raised almost $4,000 from friends and family.
Can I tell you something? I think that's realistic. And one thing I don't like about these Kickstarters is when people are unrealistic and they put a number on there that's just dumb.
Well, check this
Okay,
out.
that's a good number. I think you could get to that.
Check this out. a very famous author, a New York Times bestseller. Again, she's already an accomplished author, so she was kind of just wanting to do her own thing and do her own publishing thing, which, of course, you're kind of ahead of the game if you can. She was asking for $100,000 on Kickstarter just this past month, and her books are called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. So Laura Numeroff is her name, and a huge artist, writer, and she actually asked for $100,000, made 56. Well, I say made. She actually was about to receive 56,000, but if you don't fund your goal, you get zip.
Right.
And I just was like crying for her, going, oh, $56,000.
I'm not crying for it. It's not because she's greedy.
Yeah. So we're asking $7,850 only. That's just to get funds to publish it and get it out to people.
And
in the
that'll
valley.
make you enough money to keep it going, right?
Yes, that's all.
That's very smart. But do we have a little bit of that video?
No, we have a flyer for the
We have a video, a flyer for the Kickstarter. Show it, Billy.
There it is.
There it is right there.
So if
Kickstarter.
if you go to Kickstarter and you just put in the Treehouse Treasury, that'll bring it up to our little portion there.
On most Kickstarters, different levels of sponsorship. Do you have that?
I do.
What do they get? What's the different levels?
Well, for instance, $20, we get that fine calendar that's also high-end, high-quality, very heavy
Look at that,
stock.
you guys. Very nice.
So it's either $20 for a calendar, $20 for an autographed book of either Spoiled Pink or the Treehouse Treasury. And if you go up, like $35, of course, would net you a calendar and a book. All the way up to I have sponsors, actually, with my company and business owners for $200. You get a sticker on the front of the book with your business name on it, and we will then, for $200, donate the book to any school of your choice, so that they can either stay in the classroom and be dispersed amongst the elementary school itself, or to go home with those 30 kids with your nameplate on it representing your business. So that's a popular package right now, and I'm having a bunch of clients and people do that one.
Awesome. Laura, thank you very much
Thank
for
you
coming
so
by.
much.
I really like what you do.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back on The Buzz. Stick around.